Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a tutorial on this eye look right here. It's kind of a, I want to say a, well, it's not really a full-blown smoky eye, but it is kind of a little smoky eye, but it's definitely not a glitter bomb today. And I did not do the falsies today, so just kind of kept it natural as far as that goes. But yeah, I used the ColourPop Truly Madly Deeply palette to complete the look. I just love ColourPop as of late. I know that I've done a whole bunch, but that's because I've got a whole bunch of new ColourPop palettes as of late. And yeah, you know, you literally have everything you need in these palettes to complete kind of a full look. You don't really have to double dip into, you know, another palette unless you want to. You always have your really light transition shades. Most of them have some kind of a light bone shade. You've got your deeper shades for depth. A lot of times you'll have a pressed glitter. You'll have some nice shimmers that just kind of pop. And if you kind of use a mixing medium, you can get that metal foil effect super easy. So that is what I used today. Yeah, so the basic of this tutorial today is just kind of on that outer corner, that, you know, that deeper outer corner V look. If you notice, when I look down, the shadows kind of look like they kind of go up and just kind of gives that lifted eye effect, which is great if you have hooded eyes and they're slightly downturned. I kind of show you some tips and tricks on how to kind of lift the eye and lift the shadows, and just kind of how to, where to kind of place them, really to kind of get the look. So that is what I do go over. I'm feeling behind the 8 ball because I have a whole lot of palettes that I'm really wanting to get through. I've got the new Amrezy palette. I got the other 2 ColourPop ones. I may do 2 looks when I do these because they're like smaller palettes. They got the Blush Crush and the Nude Mood. I also got a bunch of new Milani ones. I've got some other ones of their Gilded palettes. So I've got a lot coming up here to kind of get through. So yeah, that's it. I'm going to keep the intro short. If you guys are new, welcome to the video and my channel. I'm Lauren Jade. I'm 57. I have mature, crepey, wrinkly skin with hooded eyes that are slightly downturned, and I can guarantee you that the struggle is real. So I'm always looking for tips and tricks and just different ways to kind of quote, you know, catfish, you know, cheat the system, and just kind of, you know, just work with the hooded eyes and pass them on to you so you guys can rock your hooded eye situation too. And if you are new, I'd love to have you join me. Please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell right next to it. That way, whenever I upload, YouTube will notify you. So make sure you hit the post notification bell. So that's it. That's all I have to say. If you guys want to see how I created this look with the new ColourPop palette, where did it go? I've got so many palettes here in front of me. Then just keep on watching and let's get right into this tutorial. All right, so you guys know the drill probably at this point. I'm going to go ahead and kind of fast forward through all of this, setting up the foundation of my eye look, which includes priming, bronzing my crease. You guys have seen me do this a million times in all of the videos, so I'm trying to make this one a little bit shorter. But if you guys want more of a detailed, fully explanation, you guys can check out any of my previous videos. Like the last 2 have a really detailed instruction on how to, you know, where to kind of place the product for that inner corner shading and all of that, how it connects to the nose contour. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it pretty quickly here. I'm priming using MAC's Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. I do have a little bit of Vaseline on the eyelid, just because this paint pot can be very drying and it's in the winter, and it really just kind of helps make it really soft and smooth in there. So for those of you that have watched me for a while, you guys know that I've said bye-bye to that translucent powder style of setting the base and primer. I'm setting it using my Melt Blur shadow, which is a nice skin tone friendly shade. I'm tapping and pressing it in, as well as feathering it up towards like the brow. It's just a nice skin tone friendly shade and looks like it's part of the skin. It looks like it's coming from within the skin. I'm now going to bronze my crease using the Hoola bronzer, and I'm getting up into the upper socket there, connecting it into the nose contour area, and just dusting whatever's left through the rest of the socket. And now I'm using the Too Faced Cocoa Powder, and I am mapping out my lid space using a white bone color shade. today, this is the brand Jessup. Jessup on Amazon. I got these for $15 with Prime shipping. And literally, if you guys are a beginner, this is a phenomenal set. This has a mixture of natural hair brushes as well as synthetic. But literally awesome. You can't really feel the difference or tell the difference between these and like Morphe brushes, for example. So yeah, I really like these. So we're going to go ahead and play with these brushes today. And I'm going to start with this one right here. This is the 221 Luxe Soft Crease Brush. This is a blending brush, a goat hair. So we're going to go into, this is the Truly Madly Deeply palette. We're going to start with this, and I'm going to pick up the shade Made to Last right here. Taking it just kind of on the tip of the brush, I'm just going to kind of deepen up where I place that bronzer. I'm going to start by putting a little dot, little stamping out here. Just kind of, I really like this little technique. It really also adds depth and dimension into that crease out here, and just kind of, I'm not sure what I like about it, but it's just kind of builds up and kind of gives that depth into the look on this outer corner. So if you guys like that outer corner, deeper V kind of a look, it's a great way to start. And I always start kind of up in here in my little plug and play area is what I call it. As opposed to like on my lid, because my eyes are slightly downturned, so obviously I want to keep everything lifted. So it's just nice, it gives you that lifted eye effect. And then I'm just going to kind of sweep this shade through the upper socket and kind of connect it to that inner corner shading that I did with the bronzer. Also going to start to bring it down on my outer lid here. Kind of start that little outer V moment here. Very wispy and light, just kind of holding the brush obviously at the very end and just kind of grazing the very tips. I'm really trying to stay high up into the socket because I want this shade to be seen above the other shades, and I want it to be seen when my eyes are open and I'm looking straight ahead. With hooded eyes, you really want to take things high up through the socket so that you can really see those shadows. In this color, I really want to kind of peek above the rest of the shades. So I'm taking this one a little bit higher and just kind of tapping it into, which kind of presses it into the skin. It kind of gives that lit from within look. You know, like it's just kind of that color is part of your skin, which I really like. And then I'm just going to, I'm not really totally winging it out, but I am just kind of buffing this out, pushing it out towards like the temple. Anything that gives that lifted eye effect. And of course I want this shade to be nice and airy. I'm going to grab a tiny bit of this shade right here. This is the, what is this, Matter of Fact. It's kind of a, I think that's what it is. Yeah, it's kind of a bone color shade. I'm just going to kind of put that high up underneath the arch of the brow and kind of pull it down a little bit just to kind of catch the edges of that transition shade so that it just kind of looks like it's nice and airy and meshes together. I'm going to go in with a Sigma E40, a nice large blending brush, and just really kind of diffuse everything out even more, just to ensure that I have everything nice and airy. This brush is great for circular motions. It's really not a precise, obviously, application type brush, but it's really great for blending and really kind of diffusing and meshing the colors together. All right, I'm going to grab the sister to that brush, the E38, and I'm going to start to add some warmth to this look. And I'm going to take cutouts right here, which is a nice peachy matte orangey shade. I'm going to pick that up on the tip of the brush, tap off the excess, and again I'm going to start right out here by stamping, really wanting to add some depth and dimension out here. Really kind of deepens up that part of that crease. And I always take mine up a little bit higher, just kind of like right in this area right here, simply because rather than putting it on the actual eyelid, which I will do when I get to the darker shades, but for now, I just want to keep the lighter shades a little bit higher so that they will blend up over the darker shades. So that is what I'm doing, just kind of stamping out here really and just kind of blending these edges. And then I'm going to take I'm going to buff this out, blend it outwards too. And I'm going to go back in with that Sigma E40, that main larger blending brush, and I'm just going to kind of diffuse all of this out here. I'm going to go back to the Sigma E38. I'm going to grab, I think I'm going to take this Pretty Cruel shade right down here. It's kind of a plummy, it looks like it's kind of almost like one of those little sequin shades that has the, you know, like the little glitter flecks. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to kind of stamp right out here, my little outer section right here. And I'm just going to kind of buff those edges in. I am going to pull it into the crease just like a little bit, maybe just like, maybe about kind of halfway, kind of going in an upward motion, kind of like towards the brow. Put more of that shade on this one. This is the 228 Luxe Crease Brush, just a little bit smaller, pointed, still tapered, which is what I want for precise placement. And I'm going to stamp this in that little same corner area, except that I'm going to go a little bit lower, keep it a little bit tighter into the crease because it is a darker color. And I'm just going to kind of work this around this little outer V section right here, as well as like the outer portion of the lid. I'm keeping this one a little bit lower. The lighter shades I like to kind of stamp like a little bit higher up, right? Because I really want those to show. With this darker shade, I'm wanting to place it a little bit. I still want to do the same. I'm going to start to add a little bit of these shades into my lower lash line here and just kind of, I'm going to do a little bit of baking because I noticed I had a little bit of fallout with these darker shades, and I want to be able to just wipe it away whenever you're working with darker shades. I mean, it's just a good idea in general because even if it's shimmers or darker colors or even skin tone shades, you will get that fallout. All right, so now we're going to go into the deepest shade in the palette, and that is Too Much right over here. And I'm using the same Jessup brush. This is the 231 Luxe Petite Crease Brush. I'm going to grab a little bit of this, and because this is the deepest shade and I want it to be kind of smoky, I'm going to just run this along the lash line, almost kind of like I'm doing my little shadow baby wing, and just kind of stay right in here and kind of only into the crease just like a hair. Give me a nice little shadow wing and just kind of add a little bit of smoky depth to the look. I'm also taking it up kind of slightly at an angle a little bit, like I would if I were doing my normal shadow wing basically. And then I'm going to come down in here so you can kind of see it's almost like a little shadow wing, and then I'm going to just kind of take it into the crease just a little bit. Almost kind of has that inverted C shape kind of going around. I like all of my shadows to kind of get that little wing going here. I like all of my shadows to kind of go up so that kind of when you look down, you know, the shadows are kind of going up. It just kind of gives that lifted eye effect. So that's kind of what I'm doing here with this. I'm just going to smoke out this lower lash line and this kind of outer corner a little bit more. Just deepen it up a hair. product here. Hold that thought. This is the 221 Luxe Soft Crease Brush. So I'm going to take this shade right here, which is Lay Low. This is literally one of my favorite shades of ColourPop's. And the thing I like about ColourPop the most is because no matter what palette you pick from them, you can almost do a full, complete look. You know, you have a transition, you have beautiful transition shades, and then you have, usually you have some kind of a bone shade, and then you have your darker shades. So I'm just going to really blow this look out and make it really smoky, since we're not going to do false eyelashes today, or I'm going to probably do a deeper wing. So this is really smoky and blowing out, but nicely blended, which I really like. ColourPop shadows are so easy to blend. I mean, for the price point, like you cannot beat ColourPop. And their shimmers are not hit and miss like some brands. Their shimmers are very, I'm just going right out on the edges here, kind of where all these darker shades are, and just blending these edges and kind of going up towards the brow, because I want the whole look to kind of go up. So when I look down, you see like the shadows, and it just kind of lifts the eye. So what was I saying? Oh yeah, the shimmers always have that metal foil effect. Like, you rarely have to wet. I mean, you can, but it's not like you have to get any shine with the ColourPop shimmers, I guess is really what I'm trying to say here. All right, so I don't have to, but I'm going to, just because it's ritual with me. I'm going to grab my P. Louise base in the shade 0, my P. Louise brush. This came in a set. This set I got straight from the UK when I ordered off of her website. I really just like the shadows to kind of pop, so I'm just going to kind of carve out almost like a little half cut crease, but just basically carving out my lid space. And you know, I'm always catfishing, trying to cheat that lid space, so that's what we're doing here. A mixture of this peachy shimmer right here, which is that's Blossom, and then this is Sweet Dreams. I'm going to put this one on the inner corner and this one kind of in the middle. I'm just going to stick with my P. Louise brush. Oh, I am like, these ColourPop palettes have literally got to be my favorites. The only downfall is that they don't have mirrors. And yes, I've been squawking about it for 2 years. Haven't had any luck though. Just those cheap plastic palettes of theirs have mirrors, but not their cardboard. And I prefer cardboard over that cheap plastic one with the mirror. So that's that. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of mesh this together here. I'm going to mesh the lighter one into it together. And then I'm going to take this pinky shade right here, because I haven't used that one, and just kind of go over like the center, just so that it kind of meshes, so that the shimmer meshes with this outer corner right here. It just gives it a really nice pinky kind of a look to it, and just kind of meshes really nice with that shimmer. More of this dark purpley shade, and I'm just gonna smoke it up a little bit more, just because some of the depth got kind of lost in all the blending, and just kind of do like a little shadow wing, except kind of take that little outer edge of that wing and just kind of sneak it into the outer crease right there. Sneak that in there. And then I'm going to grab a flat definer brush. As always, I'm going to use the Makeup Forever one. And I'm going to go into the Jaclyn Hill palette. Sorry, this one's kind of beat up. I'm going to take this shade right here, which I think is called Soda Pop, I think, right over here. And I'm just going to pick up a tiny bit, and I'm just going to stamp this on the root of the lashes, because that's where I really want the depth. stamp and smoke it up a little bit into that other shade and just kind of create like a little tiny wing here. It's going to be a little baby wing. I'm just going to pull it out and just kind of stamp right here on the outer corner and just kind of connect. It's going to be a little tiny baby wing. All right, so for the actual kind of inner corner part, sometimes I switch to like an angled liner brush because I can really kind of get in here. And this brush is really good too because if you have smaller, if your eyes are small, and the edge of this brush, for me, just kind of fits right on this little outer corner right here, right? And then I can just kind of stamp and just kind of fill in. Just kind of stamp and just kind of connect. That's what I like about this little flat definer or this angled liner brush, because not only can I get into the inner corner, but it really kind of fits nicely if I'm just doing like a little baby wing. Also stamping a little bit of that on this outer, almost like outer fourth, just really, really close to the bottom lash line, just really not taking it far in at all. I'm almost kind of connecting it to the wing so that the wing part kind of connects to the lower lash line smoke and it just kind of meshes together. I'm taking that petite crease brush that has a little bit of that dark purpley shade, and I'm just going to run that alongside the lower lash line and kind of take it on up so it all kind of connects right here. All right, I just sweeped away the powder and I'm going to grab a little bit more of this from the Coca palette. This is the banana powder. I'm just going to put this on the outer lid and I'm just going to whisk away. And just to kind of give the look a little extra pop, I'm going to grab my Holy Grail MAC shade here for a little pop of inner corner highlights and just kind of dust it kind of up through, like right on the outer edge. It's just kind of a staple thing with me. Actually, I'm going to grab this P. Louise brush to do that with so I can get that line. I'm going to be using the Anastasia Dewy Set today. All right, guys, so that completes the look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I will see you all in my next one.